Gideon, you're welcome. He's the co-director for Institute of Applied Entrepreneurship here at Coventry University. Professor Paul Hennan.
Good afternoon.
Director for Research and Education, National Council for Graduate Entrepreneurship. Well, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I believe we have a lot of things on the agenda today. Well, just to start with, what is this entrepreneurship?
Shall I pick that one up? Thanks, Sanmaan. I think starting with entrepreneurship and asking what it is a great start to this program. Entrepreneurship is really a way of life. It's a way of living, it's a way of being.
Add to that, I think, Paul, you've mentioned the issue of a recipe. There's no universal recipe for entrepreneurship. I think everybody needs to discover and find their own recipe for success in entrepreneurship. But I think mostly, Sanmaan, entrepreneurship is a creative act. It is about doing things at the end of the day differently and be leaders in their own right. So entrepreneurs are really leaders in terms of the economy to me.
Well, thanks for that. I hope it has answered or given us some background or the introduction for the topic today. Okay, why is entrepreneurship so important currently?
Sanmaan, you actually, when you started off with this broadcast, said there might be more questions than answers. And I think internationally, in terms of entrepreneurship, there always might be more questions than answers. But what we've learned so far is that entrepreneurs are making a change. We've just heard from Paul saying about creative, innovative in what they're doing, creating new businesses, new products, better ways of doing things. And in essence, it is a human relations development act. So in terms of that, you need entrepreneurs within this challenging environment, the credit crunch environment, all this negativity involved. You need people who can make a change. And we've seen entrepreneurs worldwide making these changes to socioeconomic development. Even in the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor studies, they've highlighted the fact that especially opportunity entrepreneurs are actually setting the tune within countries in terms of new development. Even the latest concept that we've seen out of the NCGE's research, that 85% of the fastest growing technological companies and 70% of the fastest growing private companies are actually set up by graduates within the UK in the previous years. So they're setting the tune of entrepreneurship development, and we really need that. And adding to that, the concept of being globally orientated. I know there's quite a lot of people that is opposed to global economies and saying, well, it is not going to affect us. And I think it is just not the way the world is organized currently. The world is without borders, boundaries, and within that, all trends are going to impact on us, and entrepreneurs are best suited for this challenging environment where you need to act fast, you need to act differently. Hence, again, the importance of entrepreneurship.
Sorry, coming back to the question about, or your answer about the social and the other factors. So do you believe that the social, cultural, religious, all the factors relate to entrepreneurship, or in ways that people can be entrepreneurial?
There are certainly certain factors that is actually sometimes promoting entrepreneurship, and some areas that is actually working against entrepreneurship. But coming back to my answer in terms of the recipe, you cannot really calculate each one perfectly to the dot and say, well, sure, you 9 out of 10, due to that, your culture is entrepreneurial. I think it has to do with how you're being exposed over time as well. In certain cultures, you've got a family business orientation, and in that family business orientation, people are actually exposed to entrepreneurship from birth. And would you expect that they would be more entrepreneurial than a person that is not being exposed to these kind of entrepreneurial activities? I think in terms of that social dynamics, it is playing a certain role as well in terms of how you're being orientated over time. and we will get to how we see entrepreneurs can improve themselves later on, where it is a matter of how you think and how you expose your mind to different trends over time, because that is your machinery, your capacity to identify new opportunities, as Paul actually highlighted.
And could I just come in there as well and add a comment, because I think it's also important that we don't think of cultures being located in their sort of place of origin. I mean, we're in a very, very mobile environment, so people from different countries, different cultures are moving all around the globe, and certainly quite a lot of research also demonstrates that that process of mobility creates entrepreneurial skills and behaviours. So when you're an immigrant in a country, you need to be enterprising and entrepreneurial to survive, to find a way for yourself in that new environment. So I think there are many complexities as to what creates entrepreneurial responses, but certainly cultural ones are important, but equally are the fact that we are a very mobile, we have very mobile populations around the globe.
Well, I hope this answers my question, and that's the good thing to have experts like Paul and Gideon here. So how nicely they've articulated and explained the answer. Okay, coming back to the next question, and well, this is the question that I've always thought about, of being an entrepreneur myself. So can I be an entrepreneur?
There are some very old age questions hidden in that statement, Sanmaan, and one is, are we born entrepreneurial? So is it a nature versus nurture question? So if you're born entrepreneurial or not, then you either will be entrepreneurial or you will not. Or is it the environment in which you're brought up, the opportunities that you're given to learn, to meet new people, to expose yourself to different opportunities? Does that develop an entrepreneurial response? So that's one question. The other big question is, can you teach someone to be entrepreneurial?
Just before we go any further, I hope you're still tuned in and you're not facing any technological problems. And but by the way, you can still send us questions. We are already receiving some questions. So that's the link, Ask Questions, on the left-hand side of our web page. So please feel free to ask us any questions. We will be answering later in the program. Now, coming back to the last question that I have. How can I improve my entrepreneurial skills?
Well, I think for me the first and the most important part of improving yourself is to know where you are, because otherwise any path will take you anywhere, and you will discover where you should have been from a start. And knowing yourself is a crucial part of entrepreneurship. We normally shy away from that. We analyze somebody else. We say, Paul must do this and Sanmaan must do that, but we never say, oh, me, myself and I need to do the following. So in terms of that, I think it's very crucial that you just check in terms of your strengths and your weaknesses in terms of entrepreneurship. If you're not a believer in psychometric tests, because I'm not talking against or in favor of that, I'm just saying there are some psychometric tests are actually very useful in helping you with this as well. Another method might be to talk to some of your most trusted friends. Probably your mother-in-law won't work here, but your most trusted friends in terms of where's my strengths and my weaknesses and how can I improve on that. So for me, that's the very most important point of really promoting yourself. The second one for me, going hand in hand with knowing yourself, is knowing what do you really want to achieve in life. What's your purpose? And in this case, I think we've got three different types of visions. You've got a personal vision, where you want to go in life. If you have some family involved, there might be family visions as well, and a business vision even. And I've seen that time and time again in terms of some entrepreneurs saying, "But I really want to become a global entrepreneur," and then they're more on the road in different hotels and in planes and trains and so on than at home. So the home away from home is becoming a different perspective then. So you need to balance these kind of issues over time as well. So it is more the soft side of entrepreneurship that is really crucial for success. And some of the other stuff you can teach a person, but first part is really knowing yourself and be passionate about what you can achieve.
And I remember one of the directors saying to me that his approach to being successful was all based on a phrase that he used to use, which was, if you want to fly with eagles, don't scratch around with turkeys. And it was really to emphasize the importance of, if you want to be entrepreneurial, if you want to be successful, he was always talking about wanting to be a millionaire. So he said, surround yourself with millionaires, surround yourself with entrepreneurs, surround yourself with successful people, because all of those individuals and us have the same 24 hours in our days. They don't have any extra hours than we do. They have the same 24 hours. But it's the choices about what they do with those hours which makes the difference. So whether you decide to sit at home watching television, or whether you decide to go out and do some networking, probably makes a difference. And I think that also reinforces the importance of social capital. So money is important, equipment, premises, knowledge, but actually it's the people you know and the relationships that you have which are probably most important and create new opportunities for you. And I think also just get out there and do it.
I like this point. Sorry to interrupt, but I want to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but do you know any people who are millionaires I can be doing some networking with them?
Yes, see me afterwards. I'll give you some phone numbers.
Paul is a millionaire, for your information. And thanks, Paul, for joining us. Thanks,
You're
Gideon.
Welcome.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.